Welcome back to PricePlow. This is your last, not even an accolade. We've finished talking about the past. We have brought it to the present, and we're going to be talking about the future here, the brands to watch in 2021. Last year, I have to say it, we did our brands to watch in 2020, and we freaking nailed it. We called it, and hopefully today, well, I think we're going to shoot from the hip a little bit more. We're coming in this, we're going to be honest, we got no notes. We're going to jam this for you guys. We're going to talk about the brands to watch in 2021. So we are joined today by Mike Roberto, CEO of PricePlow, and Heather Jacques, the digital content manager as well. So we're gonna just put this out there already. We already know Glaxon, Ghost, NutraBio's new line that is yet to be released and named. All of those three things, we know we got to watch for those. Ghost is the brand of the year for 2020. Glaxon is the breakout brand for 2020. I am absolutely 100% biased in the new NutraBio line because I was part of the formulations for it. We all know that those are things that we're excited about, but that's not what we're really here to talk about. Today, we're going to talk about next year, the up and coming brands. They might not be breakout brand of the year. This probably is kind of the lead in for who it might be, but who didn't have a huge year this year and next year is a serious contender that we can stake our claim on. I'm gonna let you guys go first, and you probably know who I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so I wanted to go backwards, and one other brand that's got to be in like the always watching brand is Alpha Lion. I think they've done a little bit of flip over, and I think they're going to be ready to rock and roll 2021. But we were already going to watch them. Anyone in the industry already knows that they're doing cool stuff. So that was one more to add to that pile of defaults.
I was actually going to put that in the brands to watch in 2021.
Oh, it is.
I didn't even think that was a default because of the stuff that they just did. I think that really solidified them as like definitely someone to watch. Just also because we know Jordan and he's given us some info behind the scenes. We know that they're logistically, strategy wise, ready for 2021.
So are they the brand to watch for 2021? And we're done with the video, or?
I don't. You know what we said the up and coming brands. So that. Yeah. You know what? You might be right. They might just have to be in that first category. Absolutely. Yeah. Cool. I'm going with that. So, up and coming brands. Let's talk about that, I guess. Heather, who you got?
I think this is hard because a lot of these brands are rookie of the year nominees as well. So two of my top ones are Muscle HD. I really liked what they did this year. I'm really excited to see what they come out next year. Hosstile. And then Dragon Pharma, because I think all three of those brands had, like I said, it's not like they didn't have a good year. They had a great year, but I think they're setting themselves up for a bigger year next year. And they did so well in 2020 in a very, very challenging year. And I think hopefully 21-21's better. You never know, but they're setting themselves up for some big things, and they're already doing great things. So those are my top three. I definitely agree with you on Alpha Lion, though. I think they're really going to shine through. So maybe that's like the top of the top, but those brands are my brands to watch.
Yeah, I'm pulling hard for Hosstile to have an awesome sophomore year. Like that's one that, I think that they might bust it big, but we'll see. I want to just keep an eye on that. But Ben, I know that you've been talking to some folks, and you have a smaller, not smaller, but a brand that's kind of flying under the radar a little bit right now, but you think is going to bust out, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's been a fun ride with these guys. Obviously, earlier in the year, I had a bit of a video for Alpha Prime, it was called at the time. They wanted me to review their pre-workout. I didn't want to review it. They made me do it, and it wasn't pretty. But they let me help them, and they've come back out as AP Sports Regimen, and they are offering some unique products. And I don't say that very often. You guys usually hear me say 3.2 grams of beta-alanine and 6 grams of citrulline. They're doing some cool stuff, and we got to give it to them. If we're talking about brands that are coming into a rookie year, like, because I totally agree with Fuon and Hosstile. I think that they could have a great sophomore year, but it's rarely the type of company I'm talking about for brands to watch. If we're talking about someone who is not being looked at yet, but probably has a great possibility, AP Sports Regimen has a few different factors that I'll put behind them. They've got funding. Caesar, and this is like a weird thing to talk about, but Caesar's a successful man in other areas, so he brings in the money to do, which is, now this is moving to the second point, the right things. every time I talk to Caesar, he says, I want it manufactured correctly. I want it tested. I want the formulas to be different. I don't want, like, it's funny because he's not even like a bodybuilder. I think he's a race car driver. He understands that he wants to be differentiated. The packaging is pretty cool. The packaging, like it's kind of like a V1 Glaxon level packaging. It's got some tactile response and stuff, but it has room to improve, which is important for brands' first stab at things. You have to leave room to move up in. And they've got a team behind them that cares. They've got Ben Chow, who I have to say is just, he's a guy that I look up to in terms of nutritional coaching and training. He's a smart guy. He understands hypertrophy and supplementation isn't something I expect bodybuilders to understand, but he has a pretty good grasp on that. They've got DT Roth, who's been around some other companies and coming into a leadership role here, who I think is going to do a good job leading the company. They've got JP, who's recently introduced to us through some mutual friends, and I've got some pretty good stock in him, thinking they'll do well. And Caesar, their CEO, I think is leading them well towards a great 2021. It's interesting because they don't have like a real core message outside of they want to educate their followers, offer a product that is unique and different from the rest of the industry, and give them content and influencers or whatever you want to call them that help lead people towards a better community. So we're kind of watching them right now through their adolescent stage, I guess I would call, watching them, their first stab, that pre-workout, let's just act like that never happened. We're moving into something cooler. They've got better packaging. They've got cool people on the team. They're growing well, and I think they're setting themselves up for a destructive 2021. We've seen some stabs at what the next pre-workout will be, and I think that people are going to be very excited. Not only that, but the products they actually just did, I've actually got it right here. You never see like first stabs at products, like the first run, the flavors be good, but their proteins were awesome. If you guys can get some of this, like I was very surprised. When I went into this, I did not expect good flavors. So 2021, for me, the brand to watch out of the new, up and coming newcomers is AP Sports Regimen.
That's good. I think that's good to pick just one brand out of all. Obviously, we know those brands, other brands we listed are going to do great things. They already have. But I think as far as an underdog, underrated brand, it's going to be probably that one that no one expects. So that'll be, I think that's a good, just overall. I agree with that choice for sure.
Yeah, this is similar to the content we did last year. We talked about, ironically, we talked about Alpha Lion again. They were setting up for a good year, but I think they finally figured it out. Alpha Lion is one of those companies that we don't got to worry about. They're going to do their thing and they're going to kill it. We trust them. The Glaxons, the Ghost, NutraBio, like we help them when they need it, but they're big boys. They can do it. AP Sports Regimen is the newcomers in the block, and I think that they're going to. I don't know if they're going to hurt some feelings this year, but I think they're going to come in and wow some people. And I'm excited for some new people on the block because I don't know about you guys. I'm sick of talking about the same products every month.
Yeah, you got to have some underdogs. Of other things to watch, I'm always watching. I'm telling my protein, I need more functional foods. I love your wafers and all that stuff. So I want some of that. Ben, are you allowed to talk about any of the stuff you're doing with NutraBio right now? Or is that... Because people are going to ask now that you kind of mentioned that.
Well, so I can talk about the stuff that I've already posted, right? We did a thermogenic fat burner powder. Pump product was posted, and a GDA. That's like the stuff that I've explicitly posted that Mark has really approved. I'll tell you, there's probably about, I think, 8 SKUs coming on the first rip, evenly split between powders and pills. Some very cool stuff. I am only part of the formulation team. I want to make sure that I note there are other people in the process, but been very intimately hands-on with it and super excited. I'm not involved in the marketing of it or the label designs or anything, but I do know that Mark has brought on a fair amount of different people to bring a label that not only has NutraBio never done before, but he claims no one else in the industry has ever put anything out like it either.
Cool. And one ingredient, I want to say one ingredient to look out for. I'm a rhodiola junkie. Rhodeo Prime 6 Extra Men and B Nutrition. I think we're going to see a few supplements coming out. Love this stuff every day. And so that's a little thing that I want to keep an eye out for because, if it puts you in a little bit of a better mood, then that's a good thing.
How can I
think new biome from NB Nutrition is going to be pretty big. we've already had quite, I think gut health supplements, I know this year is kind of the year of the greens. I think gut health supplements are going to get a lot more popular in sports nutrition. Like I said, superhuman gut was big, but the new biome and everything they do in tributyrin, I think is cool. And I like to see research like that. So that's an exciting area.
Awesome. Well, I think this has been a fun little content piece on what to watch in 2021. Don't want to make too many huge claims, but hopefully at the end of 2021, we look back and some of these names have grown. They do something interesting. I'm personally pulling for Rodeo Prime. And I will say that as the person that pitched the ingredient, if I have my hands in things, I usually will pitch it to those people too, because I think that it's an ingredient that people need to try. So however that foreshadows for you guys, it is going to be out there. I think it's an ingredient that everyone's been impressed by. And I guess the next time you guys hear about this, it'll be the end of 2020. We'll be recapping on whether or not this all came true. Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, thanks guys for a full day of recording all sorts of videos on 2020 and 2021. I'm looking forward to seeing how the next year goes, and hopefully we can get in person a little bit more.